be traced in the confusion that ensued. The Speaker, I'll make a spirited effort to retrieve it and submit it to you. Now I want to pray you to consider and indeed deem it as having been tabled in this House. The Speaker, I shall submit.
Honourable Member, I understand the situation, and so you are at liberty to submit it later. I may allow a few months of probation, but I'll apply the rules strictly, and I may not allow too much interruptions. Honorable members, because of the learning curve, I say I may allow a few months. After that, we have to go strictly according to the rules. I already pledged to abide by your will, and you also have to pledge to abide by the mastery of the rules, practice, and procedure of the House as decided by the Speaker. The rules will definitely tell you how to disagree and when to disagree with the Speaker. With that, honorable members, I want to know whether there are any other nominations. Honorable members, there being no other nomination, I hereby declare the Honorable, my own. I can say without any fear of contradictory that he was my former colleague. I now declare the honorable member for Bekwai constituency duly elected as the first Deputy Speaker of this House. I now invite nominations for the election of the second Deputy Speaker. Yes, Honorable Member for Asawase.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Speaker, in line with Article 96 of our Constitution and Standing Order 12.2, arise to propose Honorable Andrews Esiama Amako Honorable Andrews Esiama Amako, independent member of Parliament for Famuna constituency, to take the chair as the second Deputy Speaker of this August House. The Speaker, my colleague, Honorable Andrew Esiama Amako, is a lawyer by profession, a surveyor also by profession, who has masters in conflict, peace and security that was obtained at Kofi Annan International Peace Center. He also holds MSc in Environmental Resource Management from KNUST, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. BSc Land Economy, also from KNUST, then UST. He also holds LLB in law and also a graduate from the Ghana School of Law. He was called to the bar as a bar member and as a member of the bar, and also a member of the Ghana Institute of Surveyors. His work in KMA, that was Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, as a valuer, as a land officer, and estate manager. He has also worked with Akosombo Chambers as legal practitioner.
Please.
The Speaker, my colleague in the 7th Parliament was the MPP Member of Parliament for Fomena, and in a very, very bizarre circumstances, he was dismissed from this chamber in a way that was in a Rambo style. The Speaker, he persevered. He persevered and stood as independent candidate. And because of the good work that he has done in his constituency, the constituency, for those who do not know Fomena, is a traditionally conservative MPP area, still honored him by electing him as an independent member of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I therefore move that my colleague, Honorable Andrew Esiama Amwako, take the chair as the second Deputy Speaker. I so propose.
Honorable members, any seconder?
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague, Honorable Muntaka, for the office of second Deputy Speaker of Parliament to be taken by our colleague Esiama. Mr. Speaker, my colleague Honorable Esiama, Independent Member of Parliament for Fomena in Ashanti, is a man I personally know. We've been working colleagues. He's a lawyer. We've shared notes, we've compared notes, we've learned from each other. He's a man who is easy of address, calm in demeanor, and has demonstrated his ability to work under challenging circumstances. My respected colleague in moving the motion drew our attention to certain essential qualification of the candidates. That is, he has studied in conflict management. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, with that knowledge, I have no doubt at all on my mind that the opportunity given to serve in your absence, to preside over the assembly of this August House, will be worth the while. Without more, I pray that this House will so consider and accordingly elect him for the office of second Deputy Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. I thus second. Thank you.
The honorable member for Aswase, may you table the letter of consent of your nominee. Honorable members, are there any other nominations for the position of the second deputy speaker of this House? There being no other nomination, I hereby declare the honorable member for Formina constituency duly elected as the second deputy speaker of this House. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, the honorable member for Bekwai, Honorable Joseph Osei Owusu, popularly known and referred to as Joe Wise, has accordingly been elected as the first deputy speaker of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. The honorable member for Formina, Honorable Andrews Amuako Asiama, has also been duly elected by you as the second deputy speaker of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. I thank you, honorable members, for a good work done. I must say that this should be the spirit that will guide the proceedings of this House for the next 4 years. I hope and pray that you will continue that way in the interest of Mother Ghana. It's not easy to get an independent member of parliament being elected to occupy such a high office as second deputy speaker of parliament. So I'm aware that some engagement, negotiations, dialogue has taken place before this time. And I want to encourage members, particularly the leaders of the House, to try to make this a way of practice of this House. I thank you and congratulate you for such a good work done. I am informed that we have another assignment to perform. That assignment was initially billed to take place at 11 in the forenoon. Due to the rather busy nature of the work of this House, it has had to be shifted forward to 12 noon. That activity, I know, is well known to all of you. But let me inform you that what I'm talking about is the swearing-in ceremony of His Excellency, the President-elect, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, and His Excellency, the Vice President-elect, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It has now been decided that the swearing-in ceremony will take place at 12 noon. Today, Thursday, 7th January 2021, at the forecourt of the Parliament House. I want to ask leaders whether there's any indication before I proceed to suspend proceedings of the House. And as I indicated, we'll later reconvene at 12 noon to perform this all-important function. Leaders, any indication, any guidance?
The Speaker, as you have rightly observed, the House at its maiden sitting started gathering here after 10 last night. We've been here for more than 12 hours, and we may have to do some brush-ups before the commencement of the activity of the swearing-in of the President, which has to be done in Parliament and before Parliament. Speaker, we've taken a decision to have this within the presence of Parliament and to have the program conducted in the tent that has been constructed, as we said, the forecourt of Parliament. But it requires of us to take a suspension of this sitting and to relocate the sitting of the House to the place that we have referred to. Accordingly, Mr. Speaker, I may want to move that this House takes a suspension of this sitting to relocate to the tent to have the President sworn in Parliament and before Parliament. Speaker, I so move.
Speaker, I beg to second the motion for suspension and to urge our colleagues and to remind them that Parliament now is properly constituted, and therefore the first step in managing our transition process and in getting President-elect Nana Addo Dankwa, Vice President-elect Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia sworn before Parliament. I do agree with the leader that we allow for some break. We had to undergo this necessary to avoid a political interregnum in Ghana and for the country to have its leadership. I beg to support the leader for a momentary suspension.
Honorable members, before I suspend proceedings, my attention has been drawn to the presence of some distinguished personalities. Even though I don't see them at the distinguished sitting area, but I'm told that they are seated at the public gallery. Please kindly forgive us if we are not able to recognize you and formally mention your name. I have only been given two names in the persons of the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. John Boadu, and the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, in the person of Honorable Johnson Asedu Nketia. These are, as you all know, distinguished, gallant members, particularly of great importance to all of you gathered here. So on behalf of Parliament and on my own behalf, we welcome and acknowledge your kind visit. I now proceed to put the question. And the question is that this House suspend the proceedings and reconvene at 12 noon to continue with the rest of the business of the House. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried. Proceedings of the House is accordingly suspended.
And that is the conclusion of this marathon evening into the morning. We started off calling it decision night. It became decision morning. And of course, what a decision has it been for this great country of ours. For the first time in our history as a country, we have a Speaker of Parliament who is not from the governing party. Alban Bagbin is a new speaker, and then we have two deputy speakers of parliament, one from the governing party, the MPP, Joseph Usu, and the independent candidate in the person of Mrs. Syama, who of course used to be in the camp of the MPP. This is a fascinating outcome. I'll give a minute each to Winston first. Winston, give me your final comments on this long evening and morning.
Well, it's been a very long one, about more than 12 hours now. The good thing is that finally there's been a conclusion, and I think that Ghana becomes the winner.
Joseph?
The coming days would tell whether or not we'd have the parliament that we believe would help our democracy thrive, or one that would help us retrogress.
Joseph?
Historic, dramatic, landmark, all these words will apply when we look back on history and how this day has actually panned out. We are all excited, obviously, that we've been part of this history that has just unfolded. The thing that has caught my attention in the last few minutes, the very calm demeanor of the NDC. You know, they've let go the first deputy position, the second deputy position. When it comes to finishing business on the floor, usually the leader of the majority side and the leader of government business then proposes, and then the minority leader seconds. We saw that unfold even right now with the majority leader, with Chairman Sabunsu, moving a motion for adjournment, for suspension, and then the minority leader seconding, giving him that respect. It looks like after the NDC got the speaker position, they are ready to let a lot of other things go, and we see how that will pan out in terms of them cooperating and getting business done in the House over the next 4 years.
Well, it's now been done and dusted. Make of it what you will, but I know it's going to be one of those things that we'll talk about for the rest of our lives, that we lived to see a day like this in our democracy. My name is Evans Mensah, and of course I've been here with Winston Amwa, Elton Brobe, and Joseph Apokugakpo, of course doing this with a whole crew that have stood on their feet since 10 p.m., 12 hours straight, not sleeping a wink, just so we bring you everything that we did so you don't miss a thing. Listen, we're not done yet. Up next is the inauguration. MFR Pau, my colleague, Kojo Yang Singh, Anna Kakpo are taking over right now, and they are going to be walking you through the inauguration of our next president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Stay with us here on your election headquarters.
Proposed or nominated as it is because of the numbers still stand, and we voted, and then there were a lot of drama. At the end of the day, compromises had to be made because we could have pushed the case that the election was inconclusive, but because of the incidents